But we all have access to one power, but it's what we do with it. And my subject today is, where did your power go? Where are you investing the power that's in you? You see, getting old in unity, age-wise, takes away two of the things that old people like to do. Especially. One is blame and the other is complain. It's easy for us to let the things of the flesh and the things of the outer world control us, to take our power away. We have this tremendous ability to observe, to take a look at what we're doing. Now, am I really being led by the Spirit of God in what I'm doing or not? We need to find out about that. Check that out very carefully, because Paul told us, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, these are the sons of God. You want to be a son or daughter of God, you've got to be led by His Spirit. And that's all there is to it. One of my friends came up to me just before service and said, don't cut it too short today. You don't worry about running over. And I said, some people don't want to hear a long, long sermon. Some people want me to get to the point. But the truth is, there's only one point. There's always been only one point. My brother just moved to Branson, Missouri, and he wanted my sister and I to come and spend some time with him. And that's where I've been this past week, in Branson, Missouri, and was that fun? Oh my gosh. And the first morning that we all sat down, my brother and my sister and his wife was there, and Mona's husband, and we all sat down for breakfast. And I said, what's the daily word? Oh, they already had turned the page to it. You know what it was? Little blue theme up on top. Family. What a start to our little family reunion, our little get-together. And it was just a tremendous, tremendous week, except for one thing. When I first got there, I noticed that there was a Hertz donut place. And my brother says, oh, he said, you saw that coming in, did you, that Hertz donut? I said, yeah. He said, you want to try one of those Hertz donuts? And then he kind of got that little look on his face. And I went, And I remember that mischievous little smile when little brother's got something that's going to put over on big brother. And he hauled back and hit me right here in the arm. I was going to say as hard as he could, but he didn't hit me that hard. But it hurt. And he looked at me and he said, hurts, don't it? Yeah. Yep. Blame and complain. Blame, if you look in the Bible, you don't have to go very far. You just have to go in that first little part of the Bible, and you find Adam blaming Eve for making him eat that apple. See, guys, that's where all our power went. Exactly. Just that little thing. The woman that you gave to me, she tempted me and I did eat. Yep. You've got the power. Anything that we're blaming for this or that or whatever, we're giving a power. And we're not being led by the Spirit of God when we do that. If you're being led by the things you observe, Paul put it in terms of the fleshly things, the things that are fleshly, the things that are manifest or whatever. But it's fun in unity because you get to catch yourself all the time and get yourself back in line when you get out of line, when you get moving in the wrong direction. You get a hold of yourself and you say, let's get going here where we need to be going. A lot of religions, they give so much power to the devil. The devil made me do it, Devil over here, devil over there. Everything's a devil to them. And so they give more, sometimes it's almost like they give more power to the devil than they do to God. But God is the only power. It's the way we use that power that determines whether the devil comes out or if limitation comes out. When I think about that story, I think about the women's movement and how much they could do if they didn't get their blame thing going so much. Women who are nurturing, who are mothers, real mothers. You got a mother of the church right here, a real mother trying to keep everything together and keep it moving, get us going in the right direction, keep us in tune with spirit, aligned, as she said this morning. So these people that let the devil, it's like the lady, this lady. She and her husband had agreed to a certain budget, and they were working so hard at it, and doing so well too. And then she went out and did a little shopping. And she found a dress that was just perfect for her. And she bought it. And it broke the budget. And the husband, seeing the dress, said, well, when you were tempted to buy it, she said, the devil tempted me. And he said, well, when the devil tempted you, why didn't you say, get thee behind me, Satan? And she said, I did. He thought it looked great from the back, too. See, it's kind of interesting how we can let things of the earthly things move us in the way we want to be moved, or we think we want to be moved. But if we can be observers and really look at our lives and see what it's really all about, we know that what we bring to the world is the most important thing. It's our love and our light that we bring to the world. See, we have a tendency in our minds to think in terms of, here God is, and here I am over here, when in truth we are really the springing forth of God right where we are. We are the springing forth of God, or the offsprings of God. You have the ability within you to be more. Why? Because God's Spirit is in you. But God's Spirit isn't anything without the directing and producing cause of things as well. And that's where we come in. We're always directing and producing something or other, right? And so we don't want the world to educate us. I remember a little story that I forget who told it now, but way back years ago. I was back in Silent Unity when May Rowland was there as the director of Silent Unity, and James Dillard Freeman was the head of the ministerial school. Oh, I got a story. You'll love this story with James Dillard Freeman. I used to work in Silent Unity from early in the morning, 8:30 to, I think we went to 5:30 every day, and then we had like Wednesday afternoons off. I think they've changed all that now, and they have like Fridays off or something the whole day. But I used to then go over to the tower and work in the tower, and sometimes I would take people through as a guide and show them Unity Village. And other times I would work at the desk, and other times I'd work the switchboard. At that time we had a switchboard in the tower. It wasn't all electronic. We actually plugged the people in when they called for Silent Unity, whatever they were calling for. And this particular day I was on the desk, and it was a slow day, so I'm putting the paper clips together. And I made a chain of all the paper clips were in there, and then I forgot about it. And didn't think another thing about it until I saw it. James Dillard Freeman called a meeting, and I saw that thing sitting up there in front of him. And Jim said, he picked up, went like that, and the whole thing is chain out that far. Who did this? Didn't really want him to see me, but I had to fess up because I did it. And but Jim liked me, so I never had any trouble. But I mean, they didn't get me in trouble doing that. I was over at Jim's place several times for dinner and so on. So I got to be good friends with James Freeman. My brother used to help him out in his yard a lot. My younger brother. So we don't want to become educated by the things of the world. It's like the elephant and the flea. Remember that story about the huge elephant, and he's got a little rope around him and a little wooden stake in the ground? He's educated. But here's the baby over here. It hadn't been educated yet. They're in the process of educating that little elephant. And so they've got a great big steel thing around his leg and a great big steel stake in the ground to educate him. As soon as he's educated, he can go to rope. Or the flea that's in the beaker, but he can't jump out. But the reason he can't jump out is they had a lid on the beaker, and he learned to jump so high before he hit his head, and after a while he became educated. And you could take the top off, and he couldn't jump out. Think about it. How many of us are getting educated by the world to the place where, this is the way this is the way it is? No, only if you let it be. Only if you go along with it. But I don't think God wanted us to go along with some of those things. I think God's Spirit in us is telling us, keep on going. Keep getting things done. Keep going in the right direction. Keep blessing people. Keep loving people. Keep bringing the light to people. More and more and more each day. There's always a flow to everything. That magnetic north, when you take your compass out and it points north. God's always flowing in the direction of good, absolute good. And what we call evil is a mistaken use of that power. We're not using it correctly. Now, you'll not get through a lesson that I'm giving, especially when I haven't spoken for a while, without hearing a little bit about faith and fear. And some people say, well, there's faith here and there's fear over here. No, there's only one thing, and that's your perceiving power of the mind. And when you use it negatively, that's fear. When you use it positively, that's faith. It's the same faculty of mind, right? Charles Fillmore defined it this way. He said that faith was the power of imagination. He said it's the power, the ability to shape substance. Oh, shaping substance. That means imagination is our ability to begin to see things and feel things, to bring it a little closer to where we want to be in terms of our alignment with God. God is light, right? So we want to align ourselves with life. God is love. We want to align ourselves with love. Is this the loving thing to do? We're not. We want to, as a family, and there's certainly a family here, right? church family. And we ought to be supporting one another as much as we can. Everybody's working hard to see our church grow and prosper and the people really live the unity principles that we teach. I think that's one of the things that attracted me to unity, was like May Rowland, who had been the director of Silent Unity for 50 years, I talked about. You never heard those people blame or complain. And May Rowland, after she had been she was director of Silent Unity for 50 years when I was there. And she was still there when I left, but then she went on to marry someone that was very, 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 very rich, I know. And she must have been in her 80s then, right? I guess she wasn't looking back. So we want to move forward. We want to be led by that tremendous energy and tremendous power that is God in us. And that's our prompting. That's our potential. The all-originating cause, the origin of everything. But the origin of everything is only on one level. Then there's the other level of directing and producing cause, and that's where you come in. You're not separate from God. You're part of the God activity that's supposed to be happening in this world. And when we're doing it right, we prosper. And when we're doing it right, we heal. We regenerate. We're vital. I just want you to know that I love you all, and I'm going to leave you with that blessing right there.